India made a big push towards hosting Olympics and Youth Olympics in the future. How? On Saturday morning, India's member to IOC, Neeta Ambani, made a very powerful presentation to the IOC members to bring the 2023 IOC conference to India. Mumbai won the bid and thereby making India the host of this show after 40 years. What will be discussed at the IOC meet? Several key issues regarding the future of the Olympic Games. Also, it makes India's case to host future games very, very strong. Before we proceed any further, let's listen into India's member to IOC, Neeta Ambani, on what she said while presenting the bid.
India is scaling new heights in every field, including Olympic sport. Nearly half of India's population, over 600 million, are under 25 years of age. This makes India one of the most crucial and exciting places to nurture and grow the Olympic movement. Yes, it is our aspiration to host the Olympic Games in the future. The IOC session in 2023 in India will be a catalyst that will ignite this ambition into action.
To decode what this means to India and how close we are to staging an Olympic Games and a Youth Olympic Games, I'm joined at this hour by Beijing Olympics gold medalist Abhinav Bindra and former track and field legend Ashwini Nachappa. Abhinav, thank you very much for joining us on the broadcast. Well, you have played the sport at the highest level and now you are an official working closely with the IOC, with the IOA. Realistically, how close we are to bringing a Youth Olympic Games or an Olympic Games to India?
Well, today is a day to celebrate the session, the IOC session, which is coming back to India after a period of 40 years. I think it's a fantastic achievement. I think it will re-energize the Olympic movement in a big way. The entire leadership and the entire membership of the IOC will come down to India and see that the great opportunity that exists in India. I think this is a win-win situation for both India and the Olympic movement. I think there's a lot that India can give to the Olympic movement, but I think as a country we can also gain a lot from the Olympic movement. The Olympic Games, the Youth Olympic Games, is not just about a sporting event. The Olympic Games stand for much more. They stand for values of friendship, of excellence, of respect, and these are the values that our young country, our demographic is so young, can benefit from.
Do you think at this moment, India is ready in its mind, body and spirit to perhaps host a Games?
Well, it is work in progress. I think, as I said, it's one step at a time. And then currently it is about, really making sport firstly a part and parcel of our culture. Making the Olympic movement, strengthening the Olympic movement in this country. But certainly in the years to come, I think India will be a very good host. I mean, there is no Olympic Games available to be hosted until 2032. There is a long time to go for that to happen. There is a long process which entails winning the bid to the Olympics. I think it is our ambition that everybody would like that to happen. And I'm sure one day it will happen.
Ashwini, this session came to India 40 years ago and now once again it's coming back in 2023. What's the difference really having had the session then and having the session right now?
First of all, congratulations to the Indian contingent. Abhinav, congratulations. You've been the best brand ambassador India could ever, have. So congratulations for getting this back into India after 40 years. I think 1983 was the last one when we had. I believe the difference is the timing. When India is actually emerging as a sporting nation, it's not just, as Abhinav said, a one-discipline sport. We are a multi-discipline sport and performing at the highest level. You've got to climb small steps. And I think this is the first step in bringing about that change, in creating an environment conducive to bring sport and to promote Olympism.
Neeta Ambani made a very powerful bid today. How seriously is the IOC listening to India?
I think Mrs. Ambani has done a fantastic job. I have been traveling to Lausanne over the last couple of years in my role as a member of the Athletes Commission, and I've seen firsthand how she has been able to rekindle spirits towards India. We've had a difficult past in many years. We were suspended for some time in the recent past as well, and she's brought about that confidence amongst the membership. And that really has resulted in today's successful bid. She's passionate about seeing the strengthening of the Olympic movement in India. That is wonderful to see.
Ashwini, having a woman member from India in the IOC, how much does it strengthen or bring women's sport to focus?
It made the difference, Richa. Today we are talking about it, and I think the push from her, as Abhinav rightly said, I mean, you see across, whether it is at rural sports or whether it is promoting cricket or any other football for that matter. I think Reliance and Neeta Ambani has been on ground, and actually we've seen them doing work. So for somebody like Neeta Ambani to really bid for this made all the difference, I believe. And of course, Abhinav has been a great ambassador.
Abhinav, a part of Mrs. Ambani's presentation also focused on bringing elite programs to the grassroots and probably instituting several elite programs around 2023. Now, what I understand is a lot of the state governments are already trying to bridge elite with grassroots. How deeper do we need to go, or where exactly do we lack at this moment?
Well, I think the presentation made it very clear that we want to leave a legacy behind this hosting of this session, which goes beyond the actual session in itself. And that's where on the sidelines of the session, there will be programs which will be launched. But I think it is about identifying sports. I think there are more than 30 Olympic sports, and for sure, for certain, a lot of sports are getting much more support from the government, for example. But there are many other Olympic sports as well who, newer sports such as urban sports, for example, who are yet to really make a move in India. So I really hope that, and I'm quite sure that these programs will be successful and leave a legacy towards the session, both at the grassroots level as well as at the elite level. I think grassroots development is as important, if not more important, at this stage of our growth towards really becoming a sporting superpower.
Ashwini, while former athletes, former Olympians like Abhinav are making a great effort towards our dream of eventually getting the Olympic Games, how much work do we have to do in the present? We know that our athletes had a record medal haul in the last Olympic Games. The women have sustained the momentum. But do you think that this is enough, or we have to win more medals to really attract the Olympic Games to the country?
I think the first part of it is there is a strong intent, a visible intent from the government, and that becomes easier for things to be done. But that intent has to really trickle down to your state bodies. And that is where it makes the difference, because unless we expand the base of our pyramid at the grassroots level, champions will not emerge out of choice. It'll be out of chance.
Abhinav, when you won the gold medal in Beijing back in 2008, you pretty much did everything on your own. You were not a product of the system. Right now, would you say the system is ready to, prepare more champions like you?
For sure. I mean, when I started my sport 20 odd years ago or 23 years ago, I started under a mango tree. That was my first exposure to my sport. I trained in that for the first 3 years of my life, was under a mango tree. Now, when a young shooting athlete, for example, has to start, he or she has access to world-class facility, world-class infrastructure, as well as knowledge and expertise. So for sure, the system has certainly developed over the period of time. There will certainly much more emphasis from the government, from the private sector to really invest in sport. And that I really boiled down to a young demographic. That has ensured the young demographic is forcing sport to be prioritized because it is important to our people. Sport is important now, which has never been so historically. So, which is great to see. And I think sport has a huge role to play in nation building. It's not just about winning medals, what Ashwini so rightly said. It is about imbibing values through sport to this very young society. I just end by saying one thing. We're all chasing economic success, but it's very interesting to see that all global's economic superpowers also happen to be great sporting superpowers. And I believe that they've become global economic superpowers because sport has played a very important role in imbibing these real values when they were young.
Very interesting thoughts there. Thank you very much, Abhinav and Ashwini, for joining me on the broadcast, and many, many congratulations on winning the bid. It's the start of a great Olympic future for our country.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.